I think maybe we're just desperate and bored. Yeah, let me explain. So, recently in my Discord, if you're not a part of it, just go over to twitch.tv/JDXCoffee, hit exclamation point Discord. Also say what's up because I'm probably live, and you can get Discord access. There was a video shared that not editing that out. There was a video shared about everybody feeling like games aren't as good as they used to be. This has been like a really weird thing that we've seen kind of perpetuate, like just over and over again. I think I've even fallen victim, not victim. I don't think it's a victim. I'm no victim. Fallen. I've definitely been involved in that conversation and been like, oh, things were better back in the day. They actually, I don't think they were. I think, I was watching a video by one of my new favorite creators, Maximilian Dude. He talks about older fighting games and how people are like, oh, we hate the new ones. The old ones are where it's at. And it's like, that's not true. You hated the old ones before it was over. It's not that the new ones or the old ones, it's where it's at. It's that you forgot what was bad about the old ones. And now you just don't like the new ones. And I think that it comes down to just being bored. So there's this feeling that I feel like a lot of us might get called dopamine. Or maybe it's not a feeling. Maybe that's just a chemical. But dopamine rush, dopamine hit, dopamine whatever. I, with ADHD, have issues regulating that in the best way. So I end up having inappropriate allocation of dopamine hits and often make really weird decisions. At any rate, we have a lifestyle that is extremely dopamine rich, so much so that it creates this like dopamine deficits, like a severe dopamine deficit, I would say. And let's figure out first, actually, what we're using. What are we using today? 2, blue, sweet. So a severe dopamine deficit. And with that severe dopamine deficit, we start getting bored really easy. How can someone have such a dopamine rich that doesn't have ADHD or whatever? I'm not using any sort of medical terms here. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. What I'm trying to say is this: phones, internet, videos, YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram. They are dopamine rich. They are immediate, like gratification, 30 seconds. And if it's not good enough, you'll stop in 15 seconds. Like, it is a dopamine-rich environment. And because of that, I feel like gaming or people that play video games, we have a hard time because of this new condition, because of dopamine-rich environments. We have this issue with video games that are happening now. It's not that they're not good. Some may not be. I'm not saying that all games are good and we have bad attitudes. But it's that our attention's changed. The way that we are satisfied has changed. The way that we are told to enjoy things. Oh, that's a weird thing I just said. The way that we are told to enjoy things. We have kind of gotten away from self-led fun. So this was something that I learned as a new parent because I was a new parent at some point, and I learned this. Kids are allowed to be left alone. See, with my new daughter, this was probably like 3 years ago, I was like, what do I do? She's playing with her toys, and like I'm like sitting in my office in my old place, which was just a den with a huge window so I could see the other room. I'm sitting in my den, and I'm playing video games, and she's playing with toys, but she's like 1.5, and she's kind of like babbling to her toys. Am I being a bad parent? And my wife's like, no, she's having self-led play, or I forgot the name of it exactly, but like she's actually playing imaginary games by herself. She is doing things by herself. She is allowed to, she's having fun creating a world by herself. And as time has gone on, she's done different things. She's brought friends into these different worlds. She's been a part of other friends' different worlds. But there was this idea of imagination in fun because the resources at which my child was given were limited. We are a family that has decided not to buy toys all the time, all year round, not to give new things all the time, not to facilitate, I want this, you get this, but rather you have rotating toys. And so with my children, we have a set amount of toys, which I still think is too many, but that's only because I don't like clutter. I know, as you look at my office. But we see the toys and they have those toys. And then once we notice that they're not using them, then we take like most of them and put them into the garage and then cycle in old toys and bring those back out. And then they start to use those and are excited about those. And then once we notice a similar behavior, then we bring it back and we're good to go again. It's not just adding more toys with more stimulant and more stimulation. We're not just adding more toys that have buttons lighting up. We're not adding pretend phones. We're not adding iPads, laptops, video games, multiple video games, 4 screens, 5 screens. No, we're cycling through stuff. And what happens with the limitation that is imposed on my children is they are forced to create with what they have. I think this is something that we are starting to lose abilities of as adults. I definitely think it's something that is not as easily nurtured as adults. And I think that a lot of it has to mainly come down to the fact that life gets in the way. I'm not saying that we should play all the time. I do think we should play all the time, actually. I actually take that back. I think we should play all the time. And play doesn't necessarily mean shirk or shirk? Is it shirk responsibilities? I think it's shirk. Is it to shirk responsibilities? That's not what I'm advocating here for. I'm not saying you should shirk your... It is shirk. Look at me. Look. I finish the video and I'm like, it's not shirk. It's like something else. I'm not saying that you should shirk your responsibilities and completely decide to avoid them and be some sort of degenerate person who plays all the time. But what I am saying is that the thought of play, the idea of play, the art of play, is the fact that enjoyment can be found in all things. Whether it's doing responsible work or irresponsible work, there should be an element of enjoyment that is found in that. And I believe that playing often, whether it's, you do your day at work, you come home and you enjoy playing video games, playing with your children, playing with your friends, or just, the idea of not careless, but in some ways it's intentional leisure. I think that is important. But when it comes to video games as a whole, I feel like there has been this, over the past, I don't know how long it is, this inundation with extreme dopamine overload. And this issue with satiation of attention. Like, I don't feel like it was enough. I need more. And it's because stuff like, and this was an interesting example I heard, so there's Helldivers 2, a game that came out. Game sessions are like 45 minutes is like a full dive. And then there's Fortnite matches that are 15 to 20 minutes. And then there's... I think it's Pokemon Unite, which is it 15 minutes? Am I wrong on that? I thought it was 15. Maybe it's more. But game matches in these competitive kind of fields, these competitive fields have these high dopamine feelings, whether the dopamine is from a win, whether it's from a loss, and the dopamine is somewhat not the best, but it's addictive, so you want to continue. Whatever it may be, this environment has been created in such a fashion that I feel like this is becoming the norm, especially when it comes to how we interact with our surroundings. Whether it's a quick fix on social media through flipping through videos, or it is a you're barely able to get through a conversation without checking a device. Whatever it may be, I feel like this idea of just letting your brain do some of the exciting work is less and less of a thing. And so because of that, we start to not be able to enjoy what is in front of us. Whether the thing that was in front of us is intentionally designed to bring forth enjoyment, a video game, a book, whatever it may be, you end up going, well, the older was better, right? Some would call it nostalgia. I don't know if I call it nostalgia. I think what we miss isn't Ocarina of Time or A Link to the Past, 2 Zeldas back-to-back, whoopsies, or, the first round of Mario Party we played with our friends on the Nintendo 64. I'm stuck on Nintendo. It's because Mario, everyone's up there. I feel like I'd be insulting them if I said that one thing I miss is playing through, Final Fantasy X for the... See, and he's getting upset. Final Fantasy X for the first time. I don't think what I'm missing is the game. I don't think that saying that Final Fantasy X is what was Square's peak, and they've fallen off since. I'm not saying that everything since has been a masterpiece and that I'm broken. But what I'm saying is what I miss was the ability to allow for excitement to take place because there wasn't another thing that I'd be FOMOing over or just foaming at the mouth because, I need to, right? Yesterday, I decided to declare, which I do because of freaking ADHD, that I was going to do a Street Fighter 6 tournament. This morning I woke up regretting it because that's what ADHD does. Like, JD, you were excited. You shouldn't have done that. Don't worry, nothing's changing. I'm doing the Street Fighter 6 tournament. It ain't changing. And you know who helped me really lock this in? Sorry, it's not you, the real Palmers. It's someone else. My daughter this morning, because we're trying to be better with how we incorporate TV into our lives. So we've gotten rid of Netflix, Disney Plus, all of those, or they're no longer things that we run to. I've used them in the past to help parent. We're using PBS. Yeah. So Zaboomafoo. Shout out to all my 90s kids who know what Zaboomafoo is. Or better yet, and this is something that's really exciting. Oops, I did something with my mouse, and there we go. And this is something that's really exciting. We have been showing my daughter Mr. Rogers. And today I was watching Mr. Rogers with my daughter. And Mr. Rogers talks to the screen. He goes, "Hey there, neighbor. Hey, come with me, neighbor." He said something so powerful to me today. Yes, I'm a 36-year-old man who was affected by Mr. Rogers today. Can I share this with you guys? Can I do this real quick? Thanks. So, check it out. He was drawing with a crayon. It was after they had shown how to make crayons. Do you guys remember that episode? I loved that episode of him making a crayon, how you learn how to make crayons. It was such a satisfying episode. And then there's that show, How It's Made, that came out that was just the segments. Dude, Mr. Rogers goated. Anyway, so Mr. Rogers is drawing with a crayon. And he goes, "I'm not so good at drawing." But that's not what's important. Sometimes it's just fun to do things. Dude. You kidding me, Mr. Rogers? Monsieur Roger? You kidding me, bro? You're going to look me right dead in the eye and be like, "Sometimes it's just fun to do things, JD Melnick, when you want to play Street Fighter 6 and have fun with it. Maybe it's so important that it's a meta game that has a bunch of followers and you're going to gain a Twitch following. Maybe it's just important that you want to freaking do something, dude." I was like, "I see you, Mr. Rogers, with all your tattoos under your sweater. Yeah, I choose to believe the urban legend that he's covered in tattoos. He probably isn't, but it's kind of fun to believe that, isn't it?" I was immediately hit between the eyes, but inside the heart, and I felt emotions. Because I'm like, sweet. This dude, my daughter, of course, is watching him draw with a crayon, and it's not spectacular, by the way. No, I think my daughter could draw as good as Mr. Rogers can with a crayon. He's correct. He's not that good with a crayon on public television in front of millions of people, lifelong, forever, for the world to see. No. He's not that good with a crayon. Not at all. He's actually, I would say, below average based on it. Nowadays when you watch Blue's Clues, the new guy, or even the old guy, shout out to the new guy, forgot his name. He's pretty good. Steve is great. I think Steve's OG. I like the new guy. So sue me. Okay. So the new guy's drawing the pictures, and even him, he's great. It's oh yeah, that's an artsy fartsy little dog or whatever. No, not Mr. R. Not R himself. Nah. Mr. Rogers is just drawing boxes that are not quite connected. Was he a secret savant with the crayon? Maybe. But publicly, in front of millions and millions and over the years, billions at this point, probably? No. He's just drawing scribbles lines. And it's not spectacular. But why is he doing it? Because sometimes it's just fun to do things. Wow. Dude, how powerful is that, man? Seriously, dude. That is so crazy to me. The idea that I have lost since I was a kid. I mean, I'm sure that I don't even know when that episode came out. I was probably my daughter's age when I watched that for the first time. right? With all the crazy different puppets that he voiced most of them. Like, what was so powerful about that? And I'm not talking about the documentary, guys. I'm talking about the real one, like the actual Mr. Rogers show on PBS. Go download the PBS app. It's free. And just go watch some Mr. Rogers. Your life will be infinitely better. Infinitely? Yeah, I should go hooked on phonics too if I come to think of it, That's so good. I needed it. I needed to hear that because sometimes it's just fun to do things. Sometimes it doesn't have to have a reason. And often, if not most times, you don't have to be good at it to do it. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is that you're just doing things. And I think that something that I have struggled with greatly is the idea of not being good enough to enjoy something. Man. Look at that, Mario. Not being good enough to enjoy something. I grew up watching people play Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom, Guilty Gear, eventually Street Fighter, Tekken, you name it. I watched people play it. I would go to arcades and watch people play it. I never wanted to touch it because I was scared. I grew up watching people play Super Smash Brothers, and the 4 times I played it as a kid, I got destroyed, and I never wanted to play it again because I wasn't good enough to enjoy it. How crazy is that? I guess I didn't listen to Mr. Rogers enough. Sometimes it's just fun to do things. Good grief. And as I'm watching some of these videos from different creators, gaming sucks. Oh man, microtransactions have taken over. Developers release broken games. It sucks. It's terrible. I see gamers in a space, or really it's just content creators, because I don't believe that this is indicative of every gamer out there. Because here's the deal: at the end of the day, this is an idea that Maximilian, dude, great channel. This is something he said that I resonated with, so I'm going to repeat it as a quote. He said, he was talking about Street Fighter games, if Street Fighter 4 is really that much better than Street Fighter 6 to you, you don't need to make a dissertation about it and just post it online how terrible Street Fighter 6 is. Go play Street Fighter 4. Later, I was inappropriately flipping through social media. The reason why I say inappropriately is because I try to stop. I try to quit, and I can't. It's so tough because it's addicting. And so it's inappropriately wasting my time instead of training for my competition, flipping through social media. And I flipped through a short from some content creators that said, we are in a social media recession. What does that mean? I'll explain it to you. We are in a spot with social media where there are more people making videos than there are people watching videos. We're in a part with social media where there are more people distributing minutes of spoken word, or not even spoken word, AI-driven content, and less people interested in consuming that content. So how does someone like myself, who has decided to make a living off of content, make a business in a recession? Well, you don't. Okay. You don't. No, what the little tidbit at the end of that, which I thought was powerful, was, so what you find yourself running from, you should also avoid. What you find yourself ridding yourself of, you should also take note. What you see is becoming the pain point of, or the common controversial moments in this space, you should probably avoid. Because in a recession, that means that there is an increased supply and a decrease in demand not due to choice, but due to circumstance, right? Increased products, less purchasing because less money, not because of less want. Recession isn't due to free choice. It's due to forced choice. Now, you may freely be deciding, I'm not going to spend money on streaming services because they've increased so much over the years, and I need to save money because that's more important for my child to go to private school than it is for my streaming service to be on in my living room. That is what recession or that kind of decision making. I'm not an economist. I'm not going to say that this is what it is. But the way I interpret it as a recession in content means that people aren't watching the content because they simply don't have the time anymore. They don't have the time to sit through some dude waffling for 20 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to change it because I don't think people are running from content of someone sharing their heart. I think they're running from content of people shilling their farts. Cheers. That wasn't good, and I do not blame me for wanting to leave the video right now. And this coffee is, the thing that I don't love about this specific one is the tartness. It has a tartness to it. It's not my favorite. I think we're bored. I think we have so little time on our hands, and the thought of sitting down and choosing something that we're not good at is deterring us because there's 7 other things that are competing for our attention. The thought that I don't want to purchase a game because I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to play that game because I'm not that good at it. I don't want to invest any time in something new because everything's bad, older was better. I think that there is a lot right now going on in a discourse space that is dictating how people decide what they're going to do to actually enjoy themselves. 3Ds. Couldn't get the 4th one out. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do after decide. This is the thing, is there are a lot of different things out there that are pretty much being like, hey, oh, it's so much better back then. Remember when this was the great thing that I got from Max's video? He said, it's not that Street Fighter 2 or 3 or 4 was better than Street Fighter 6. It's that it was your first. It was the first time you connected with something. And for me, it's not that Final Fantasy X is better than 16. It's the first time that I got emotionally invested in a story. It's not that Breaking Bad is the best drama on television. It was the only drama in television that I cried throughout because it was so powerful and I was connected to the characters. It's not that, Star Wars is the greatest science fantasy, or whatever you want to call it, out there. It's that it's the first fantasy that I got to actually feel like the characters that I was watching on the screen were characters that I wanted to be. That is... Someone call it nostalgia. I would say it's actually a pure heart attachment. It's enjoying something for what it is, regardless of what's going on. And gosh darn it, Mr. Rogers nailed it on the head. Sometimes you just do stuff to do it, to have fun, to try it. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to, be the best. And so that's why this adventure with Street Fighter is something that actually is deeper than I thought it was going to be. Is that this is a game that I've always wanted to enjoy, but I never let myself because I was never good enough to actually enjoy it. This is a franchise or a game style, fighting games, I've always wanted to explore, but I never allowed myself because I would get my butt handed to me by other people, and I was just like, I don't ever want to touch this. I'm too bad at it. And I convinced myself, maybe you've done the same with other things, that because I am bad, it means that it is not worth my time. I remember growing up being super self-conscious and being bad at these games, and also being bad at Mario Kart, and anything competitive I was bad at because other people spent time practicing. And so I would swear off those games. I mean, these games are terrible. I'm not going to play Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat. Who cares? I don't want to play them. Inside my heart, I always wanted to. I stuck to single-player narrative games because it's really hard to be bad at Final Fantasy. It's really hard to be bad at Kingdom Hearts. It's really hard to be bad at Legend of Zelda. You're not bad at a single-player game. You just don't finish it, and no one knows you're not bad at it. And so there's no consequence. But the problem is, being bad at a game, there is no consequence. There isn't a consequence for not being good at something. There isn't. You either get better or don't do it. It's not that big of a deal. And I'll thank Mr. Rogers, because he's drawn with a crayon. And he says, you know what? I'm not good at it. I'm just doing it. Because sometimes it's good to do things. And the purity in that statement. You know what's great about Mr. Rogers, if you did watch the documentary, is it wasn't a show. It was real. He didn't say that because that was the curated thought of the week that he didn't believe, but he knew was a good message. He said it because he meant it. When he was drawing with the crayon on that show, it's not that he was drawing with a crayon because that's what he was supposed to do. That he was genuinely drawing with a crayon. He was doing it because that's what to do. Sure, it was a crafted moment. Sure, it was on television because it was intended. We're going to draw the crayon now. But I believe in the moment he was drawing with that crayon, he wasn't performing. He was actually having that conversation through the screen with you, with me. And that's powerful. It's really powerful. So, yeah. If you want to join in the fun with Street Fighter, hop on twitch.tv/JDXCoffee. That's where I'm playing Street Fighter right now. This isn't going to be the forever. That was another thing. It's just sometimes you got to play different things sometimes. This isn't going to be the forever. This is just a snapshot in time as I'm enjoying something that I never let myself enjoy before. And I am trying to get good enough to see how well I can do in a tournament. Because it's, for me, kind of one of those moments where I could never hold my own as a kid. And so what would happen if I actually spent some time learning a game? It's fun. It's fun. It's only day 2, so... or actually, I guess technically it's day 3 because I decided to do this on Sunday. So, whatever. I know it's a late video today. It's gonna be a late video tomorrow. I'll get these out when I can. Schedule as of now is just when I can get these out, because this is fun. All right, you guys have a good one, and let me know in the comments below. And the reason why I say it now is because the people that answer this now are the people that I will actually listen to, because you're 26-ish minutes into this. Is it okay? No music. Do you want music? Let me know in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Have a good rest of your day. Play more, be kind, and play often. Play often. All right. Shout out to Mr. Rogers. You're the man. See ya.